All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Happy Monday. Yes, it's Monday. Come on. Mondays aren't that bad. I know most of you look forward to Fridays. I'm always the guy that says I look forward to Mondays because they're going to talk to some great people from our community and sometimes from all over the planet. And excited every week for a new show. Hope you had a good weekend. I was busy last weekend. I didn't get to do as much as I normally would do. I was out of town. I was live streaming military soccer. I was down in Trenton for the weekend, or early part of the week, I should say. I did get back Friday in time for a Sarnia Sting game, which we'll talk about coming up. But I hope you got out. And there was a lot going on. I did get for a little bit of a motorcycle ride on Saturday. I will admit that. And there was so much going on. There was a car show going on down off of Rutherglen, down off Cathcart area. Was able to stop for a little bit. Beautiful cars. Now I have a motorcycle. Now I want a car too, right? But it was great to see so many cars out in Mother Nature cooperating for that. Where else was it? The Great Sarnia Picnic was happening down at Canatera Park. Lots of great live entertainment. Where else did I go? And the benefit for Owen. I did stop there in the afternoon before everything I just talked about. And had some food, sausage and everything. And there was some great entertainment happening outside and then inside entertainment as well. And I know it was well put together, and they raised a few $1,000s and enough anyway to get Owen 3 therapeutic sessions. So that's important. And that was what really at the end of the day, what it was all about. So congratulations to them, and shout out to Paul Knapp, who put that on and give support for little Owen, who was here last week, actually talking with us along with his mother, Courtney. So we were great to have them on and glad to see the success of that happening. So, and Mother Nature cooperated for the most part. Did rain a little bit later. We got caught in the rain a little bit later at night coming back from Grand Bend, but that's the life of being on a motorcycle, right? But there was lots going on for sure. And of course, as I said, it was down in Trenton, and I got back in time for the Sarnia Sting home opener. And were you there? Did you enjoy it? Did you know that it was happening? Are you a Sting fan? Well, let me tell you, it's more than a game. It's Sarnia Sting OHL hockey, and it has begun once again. I know it still feels a little bit like summer out there because Mother Nature's being nice to us in September. I think maybe she's making up for June because we didn't really have June, did we? So thanks to Mother Nature for that. But the Sarnia Sting continuing on to their next season, their 2019-2020 campaign is underway, and the home opener happened this past Friday, and I was there doing a live broadcast from the concourse. Myself, my friend Jay Peckham joined me, and we do the pregame show and intermission shows. Liam Henderson, young Liam Henderson, Canada's smartest person junior, joined me on the broadcast as well. He's just got a book full of knowledge in his head. I'll tell you, I couldn't remember. I was like, oh, what's that guy's number? And he was like, oh, that's Sam Bitton. Oh, okay, thanks. Can I just take you with me wherever I go? He's got all that knowledge. Liam will probably be joining me from time to time down at the Sarnia Sting games. And of course, Jay Peckham. Jake Chersky will be back as well. And we're going to have some other surprise guests joining us. Mike Weir was in the house at the Progressive Auto Sales Arena for the home opener. He dropped the puck for us. And he's been donating some time and money towards mental health initiatives here in Sarnia-Lambton as well. And we'll be talking about that coming up in future shows. Unfortunately, the Sarnia Sting taking on the Hamilton Bulldogs did not end well. Only by 1 goal, 4-3 in favor of the Hamilton Bulldogs. Some great hockey happening out there. Jamison Reese out with a head penalty. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I think you hockey fans know what I'm talking about. Haven't heard any more about that yet, what will happen there, but people are expecting some game dismissals coming up. But I'm sure we'll find out and we'll let you know as soon as we know about that. However, Sam Bitton, new to the Sarnia Sting, pardon me, new to the Sarnia Sting coming from the Ottawa 67s, was first to get the goal for the Sarnia Sting. Braden Guy came in there and got the second one. And then Joe Mack, who has joined the Sarnia Sting after 2 seasons with the Erie Otters, now part of the team, he was in there to get the goals as well. So obviously they go back to the locker room and try to clean things up and look back at what happened out there. It's only the first game and a long season to go still. We'll be there for all 34 home games. And the next one coming up Friday, September the 27th, the Sarnia Sting will play host to the Saginaw Spirit. Once again, Friday, puck drop 7:05. And if you come down to the Sarnia Sting games, keep an eye out for me. We're right inside the gate doors there. Stop by the booth and say hello to us. Even if we're live, we don't care. Wave at us, take pictures, whatever you got to do. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're a Sarnia Sting fan and you'd like to join me on camera at one of the games, I welcome you. Get a hold of me here on the Facebook page, or find me on Facebook. Or I'm not hard to find. You just got to go on social media, and I'm probably there. Send me a message. I'd love to have you on there. Danny Cocamiglio's out there. Are you a Sting fan, Danny? Good afternoon to you, and we'd like to say hello to our audience. Danny's out there. Maybe Danny will join me at a Sarnia Sting game. I don't know. Tracy's out there as well. Thanks, Tracy, for stopping by. And, there is Alfredo. Alfredo, I haven't seen you in a while. Howdy, David Burrows. Did you learn chess yet? Ha. No, I have not learned chess yet. And guess what? It's not on the top of my list. I know a 4-move checkmate, and because everybody else knows the same move, I can't win at chess. I was scarred in public school when I played chess. I was in grade 6, and a grade 1 came down and played me and beat me. So I've never wanted to play chess ever again. That's a true story. And if I told you who it was locally, you'd probably know and be very, very surprised. That's another show. Thanks for stopping by, Alfredo. And Dom is out there. Hello again, Dom. Dom joined me on a show earlier today that I do at noon because Stephen Healy was off. And Danny says, yeah, of course I'll join. So, Danny, you want to let's make this public. So you want to come to a Sarnia Sting game and you want to join me? Do you want to come Friday night? Danny, if you want to come on live with me Friday night at the Sarnia Sting game, let me know. You know how to reach me. And we'll get you in there to join. I'll get you a pass and you come on in and join me. Jay Peckham's going to be like, who's the new guy? He's going to get a little jealous, right? But that's okay. We like having some fun down there. And we'd love to have you come down there and join us for the next Sarnia Sting home game. Once again, next Friday as they come down to the Progressive Auto Sales Arena to host the Saginaw Spirit. Looking forward to seeing you there. All right, well, just a few reminders. Mamma Mia has begun and underway at the Imperial Theater. We had Andrew Colburn on the show here last week, and I was down at Bad Dog the other night and ran into some of the cast that are participating in Mamma Mia, and they're having a ball. They said they're really enjoying it. I'm hoping to get down there to see one of the performances. 10 performances in total of Mamma Mia. They normally do 7 performances of things like this. 10, because they're expecting big crowds, and they've seen big crowds down at the Imperial Theater. Simply go to imperialtheater.net to get your tickets, or go down to the box office. They're open Monday to Friday till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Tell them I sent you and said hello. Well, who doesn't like pasta? And they're very, very popular. Pasta Fest is coming back to the Donny Club to support another local initiative, a nonprofit organization. The Sarnia Special Olympics is going to be having their Pasta Fest coming up this Thursday on September the 26th. It runs from 5 till 7 in the afternoon. Eat in or take out. Now, the last one that I was there for, I believe, was it was for the Huron House Boys Home. And the ladies from the Donny Club know how to cook. And they really know how to make the meatballs, too. So if they have these big meatballs that they normally make there, give me 2 of those. I don't even need the pasta. I'm good. Real home-cooked pasta fest down at the Donny Club. And the Donny Club been supporting a lot of organizations. And this time the Sarnia Special Olympics, which we've been seeing a lot of, actually, out at Oswald's Diner that we talk about. They have 2-wheel Tuesdays. And I believe they're going to have another one tomorrow night, as long as the weather's nice. Motorcycles come out there. Last week was a little shy because of the weather, but I was able to get out there. And even if it's bad weather, some of us on 2 wheels, we still get in our vehicles and drive out there because it's just good coffee and conversation. And, of course, the restaurant's open as well. But they've been supporting the Sarnia Special Olympics. Did you even know we had a Sarnia, Special Olympics? I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm an ex-smoker, and I haven't smoked in 4 years, and some days I still feel like I've had a pack of cigarettes. So don't do it. Get rid of it, right? Anyway, Pasta Fest coming up to the Donny Club this Thursday in support of the Sarnia Special Olympics. Last week also, we had Bryce Janey join us here on the show. He's coming to Sarnia all the way from Iowa. That's right. Iowa is going to pay us a visit here at the Sarnia Legion Branch 62 coming up this Saturday as well. Blues and classic rock and roll. He's quite a story, and we had him here as well on the show last week joining us, and hoping to get down to see that as well. Going to have to pop in after the hockey game, but this show is going on all the way till about midnight, when I'm told. So Bryce Janey and other special guests from local as well. So get your tickets for that. You can get them at Cheeky Monkey or at Pickers Alley. And if you go down to Pickers Alley and you see Tony there, tell him Dave said hi as well. All right. Now here's one. All right. Every time I get involved with something, they always try to make me do stuff. And I guess this is no exception. So a couple of weeks ago, I was out in Petrolia and was live streaming, get this, lawn tractor racing. That's right. It's an actual sport. It does exist. Souped up lawnmowers, riding lawnmowers, and they race. And they age from age 4 years old up to 70 years old are still racing the lawn tractors. That's right. Now, obviously, the 4-year-olds don't go 50 miles an hour, but they start them that early. And there's a track out in Petrolia, just south of the traffic lights at Petrolia Line and Highway 21, right next to the landfill site, right? Which it's a filled-in landfill site. It doesn't stink or anything. So it's all really good. And we were there live streaming 3 hours of lawn tractor racing a few weeks ago. Very family oriented, a lot of fun. They were selling hot dogs and refreshments to support the Kidney Foundation walk that Paul and Kimberly Wright were a part of. And they continue with that. They give back into the community of Petrolia. They contribute to the Petrolia Food Bank. And it's just a lot of fun. Now, I will say this. Corey LaPointe, who's one of the supporters out there, and he's the director for the group, he's quite competitive. They had these things going 50 miles an hour around the track, and it was super loud, but it was super fun. And I've been invited back to live stream it once again coming up this Sunday. I've always wanted to do this. Sunday. Yeah, right. Out in Petrolia, I will be there live streaming it, and I don't know how I get talked into these things. They're actually going to put me on one of the lawn tractors and make me race it around the course. So I'll definitely have my helmet and my coveralls. I don't have any coveralls. I have to get some coveralls. Anyway, I'll be out there. Come on out there. Bring a lawn chair. Bring the kids. It's only $5 to come and sit up on the friendly hill there and enjoy the races and supporting local initiatives as well. And if you can't make it, I understand, you'll be able to watch the live stream. I'm thinking just you watching me be on there alone trying to, what if I ever raced before? I don't even race motorcycles, right? It'll be a lot of fun, and we're going to support some great initiatives. And they're going to be coming up to some of the fairs as well. They were just at the Thorndale Fairs not too long ago. And they'll be at the Brigden Fair. So if you want to find out more about that, come on out and check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Well, no lack of anything to do. And I got to say, one of the great things that I get out of doing this show is I have a lot of people that come back regularly, but I always seem to run into some new people. I'm like, wow, I never knew about you. And we're going to talk with some a local publishing group here that's sitting here waiting in the lobby along with the author, and we're going to bring them in here right now as they wait patiently for us. There you are.
Hello, David.
Hi,
How's
David.
it going today? This is
Very good.
Barry Loxton and Debora Matchett, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being here, and I'm really interested in your story. You know, it's got quite a background to it. So let's start there before we get into the books. But matloxpublishing.ca. How did this journey begin for you?
Well, I was an early childhood educator, and after many years of doing that, I decided to take a different route and go into writing children's books. Okay. And the first book was in honor of my late mother. Our message is we want to get it to the young children so that they can grow up with the foundation of loving themselves, of having good self-esteem, being kind, being inclusive, all those kind of things. And so I wrote the first book, Lizzy Learns to Love Herself, and that was launched in December of 2012.
Right.
And then after that, I've written 3 other books that are on Amazon, as well as Lizzy Learns to Love Herself, and one that hasn't been illustrated yet. It's called Tommy Learns to Believe in Himself, which is another one of the characters in the book.
Well, let's talk about. I've had a lot of people on this show that are authors, and because of technology and stuff, there's a lot of way to self-publish, I guess. But you still don't just wake up one day and go, okay, I'm going to write a book, and I write it all out and put my thoughts down and get some pictures and put it all together. Like there's a team of people or a team effort that I would think it takes to make this happen, right?
Well, actually, as far as the writing, no.
You do all that yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm the writer, but a lot of it is inspired through my own experiences, my own life, my family and friends around me, certain things that, I've gone through, and I just see it as a way to relate and get to educate the children.
Right. And obviously coming from that background, but how did you decide that I really need to do this and I need to get this message out there? What was that inspiration for you?
Being a educator of young children, I actually saw bullying and children being left out even at a young age of 2 and 3.
Right.
And it's always been my message about love and kindness and inclusion. And I just thought this is a great way to, not just with the children I work with, but hopefully worldwide. Like, we're really hoping to get the book branded, the characters branded, and have it worldwide so that Lizzy is a household name, and all her messages on the clothing of the children, and like that.
Now, the character Lizzy, is she a representation of someone in real life, or a combination of?
Yeah, she's. My mother's name was Elizabeth, so that's why I called her Lizzy. But yeah, she's a combination. She's a combination of my mother, myself, and our daughter, Victoria.
Oh, okay, right. And how old is Victoria?
She's 35 now. Okay.
So, and then as far as the combination of those characters, like you said, a lot of this comes from your personal experience, but does it come from Victoria's experience? And like, is it a combination of all those characters' experiences in the books as well?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. And Barry, what's your role in all of this?
Well, I basically do the publishing part of it. When we decided to go to Amazon, we had to redo everything. Like, it was so I had to build all the files, resize everything. It was actually a lot of work and frustrating at times too. But it all worked out.
What keeps you going when you hit those frustrating moments? What helps you push along?
Just wanting to get our message out.
Yeah. So. This is very personal for both of you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell that in the tone of voice when you're both talking about this, and I think it's important what you're doing, right? And I think it's a lot of people, and they're not all new topics. Bullying is not a new topic.
Oh, no.
But I do think it's still one that needs to be talked. I talked to somebody the other day actually, and they said, the bullying thing and this thing and that thing. I mean, we've all got a thing that we need to talk about, but does it really change anything? And I go, is it shrinking the problem? I don't know. But the fact that it makes it okay to talk about this kind of stuff, I think is really the bigger part of the picture on, yes, you should go home and talk to somebody, let them know you're being bullied, or a teacher or whoever. Do you feel, how long have you been doing this crusade, I guess?
Since
2012, December of 2012.
2012, right. Yeah, okay. And are you seeing growth? Are you getting response from the public and other folks?
Not as much as we'd like, but
right.
We're just going to keep going at it.
Yeah. What about schools? Like, have you been into schools and stuff and given talks or presentations to show off this your books?
Yeah, we think to several schools now, and last year we were fortunate enough to meet Liam Henderson.
Oh, you heard me talking about him there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we actually donated some books to his school. Man, what a great kid.
Yeah.
He's really inspiring in his own way, right? You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
and every time he's on he's been on the show here, or every time he's helped me with lacrosse Pacers games and the Sting games. Like, well, honestly, he makes me look bad. I'm just kidding, but he's just really, really smart, right? And he's such a generous soul as well. So he'd be a good spokesmodel for Lizzy.
Yes,
he would be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think he's probably going to end up being the next mayor of Sarnia too.
Well, mayor, or he's wanting to be prime minister. I know that for sure. Right.
Well,
Or I may talk to him about the rights of the next book.
There you go.
So,
Now, Lizzy helps a friend.
Mhm.
What part you've got 4 books going right now and another one in the works. Which one
Yeah.
is this? Number what?
That one is number 4.
Okay.
No.
And
What?
right.
No. 4. That's number 4. Mhm.
we'll go with 4.
Yeah, it is. It's number 4.
So this is the latest that's out there then.
That's out there,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we've got Lizzy helps a friend, and we've got Lizzy pays it forward.
Yes.
And I went too far to our next guest. So we got pay it forward helps a friend, Lizzy and the bully. Oh yes, and Lizzy learns to love herself.
Mhm.
Was Lizzy having a hard time loving herself?
Yes, in the beginning of the book, I was showing people how their words affect how they feel. So she was saying, I don't like this about myself. I don't like that about myself. And the whole point of the book is she meets a friend, Victoria, who seems to always be happy. And so she wants to know what it is that makes Victoria happy. And it goes from there, where she shows her it's the way she talks to herself, and let's sing about the things we love about ourselves,
Right.
like that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
This is really good timing, because I just had a conversation last night with somebody close to me, and I said, you got to love yourself. I exactly the same words. I said it's okay, and self-talk is really, really important, because we take us wherever we go. We can't.
That's right.
We can't.
Yeah.
You can walk away from me, but I can't walk away from me, right?
Yeah.
That's
For
right.
sure.
And I don't know that we hear this message often enough. Love yourself.
It's an extremely important message.
Yeah.
And if I had known when I was a child what I was doing to myself, if someone said something mean to me, and I would just ruminate on what they said and made it become a belief of my own. And that's where I wanted the self-talk to come in and say, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't have other people tell you who you are,
Right.
and it's really important, because a lot of people do that. They just take what other people say and make it the truth of them, and it isn't.
Well, this
Especially
kind of
children.
sorry, go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, especially children that are getting bullied. Like, their self-esteem just goes, down so fast. And
Yeah. I was just going to say it ties into the bully aspect of it all, right?
Mhm.
You're a loser.
yeah,
You're a so-and-so, you're this, that, the other thing, whatever. And then we take that. I remember we used to have a little saying, sticks and stones may break my bones. Names will never hurt me. You know
That
what?
is so not
They do.
true.
Bull.
So not true. Right.
Right.
Mhm.
And we take that home with us, and then we take that wherever we go, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it's hard to overcome that, because we want everybody to like us, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
you
in
wanna say
reality, not everybody's going to like us,
that. Right.
no matter how hard we try. And I think we spend too much energy sometimes trying to please the people that really don't matter,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I mean, I want to love everybody and like everybody, and I try my best, but I'll be honest, I don't.
Sure.
and
Yeah.
and no, but not everybody likes us, right? So
Right.
I I've always been a believer too of it's good to exercise the body, but we got to spend more time exercising the mind, right? And is that a part of what this says as well?
Yes, it's the self-talk, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Exercising the mind or the soul, even, getting to the real person inside.
Looks like I got a fan out here, Heather Prevost.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, our niece. Hi, Heather.
Oh, okay. What's she saying here? She says these books are incredible. They need to be read. The messages are helpful at any age and will make the world a better place.
Thank you.
I couldn't agree with you more, Heather. And the one thing that she says, the messages are helpful at any age, even though these are geared towards young children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The message is simple.
Yes,
it is.
It really is simple. And because we still get bullied as adults, we still need to learn to talk to ourselves and tell us how great we are and to ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we actually saw a lot of bullying in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Deb's mom was in a nursing home. It's like,
they were
at that age?
bullying. Yep.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And bosses and under bosses and yeah. Well, I think it's a great way that you're putting your message out there. So are these books available locally here in Sarnia then?
The Lizzy Learns to Love Herself is available from us. You can get it from us.
The
first edition, yes. Or Amazon. And the other ones are all on Amazon. And we've done 4 of them are in French also.
Yeah. They can also be ordered through bookstores.
Yeah, bookstores.
Right. Okay. And best way for people to reach you is to go to matloxpublishing.ca.
Yes.
That's the website. And then the Facebook page is also called matloxpublishing.ca, right?
Yeah. And I put on inspirational posts every day too. So people can check those out and hopefully, start their day off really good.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to talk with you more, and maybe we should meet up for coffee and see how we can help you grow this thing and get more noticed out there, even just locally, to get things started. And
thank you very much. We would really love that.
Yeah, well, I think it's really important what you're doing, and I think it takes a lot of courage sometimes to step forward and you kind of put yourself out there, right? And so
out of your comfort zone for sure.
Yeah. Well, I learned a long time ago from a mentor of mine, there is no success in your comfort zone. So
I have heard that. Yes.
you got to get out of that. So thanks very much for sharing this. Before I move on to my next guest, is there anything else that you want to share with everybody?
Yes, I would like to give a shout out to our website builder and maintainer of our website, and that's Andy Prevost. He was also from Sarnia. He's not from Sarnia now, but we wanted to tell him how grateful we are for everything he's done for us also, and all the people that have supported us, regardless of where the books seem to be going, they still stood by us, and we really appreciate that, family and friends that did that.
Well, I've always been one to say, if you surround yourself with the right people, great things will happen. So it sounds like you've got a good network support. Vicky is also out here saying, amazing books. My daughter loves Lizzy.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, let's spread the word out there.
Vicky. Yeah.
Deborah and Barry, thanks so much for joining me here today. I'm glad we were able to make this happen. And Barry, make sure you send me links to everything, the Amazon links, and just so I got everything. And I'll be sure to share that on our Facebook page after the show, and we'll get some more attention out there for you.
Hey, sounds good.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate this.
You're very welcome. Please stay in touch. We look forward to hearing more about you. Great to have Barry and Deborah join us on. They did a great job talking to us here and talking about Lizzy and all the different topics. Yeah, bullying, love yourself. That was a great conversation. We could probably do a whole show on that, and maybe we'll do that down the road. So you can find out more about them. Go to matloxpublishing.ca. You can also go to their Facebook page, Matlox Publishing. Matlox Publishing. You know how I remember that? Remember Matlock, the TV series? Matlox. That's how I remember that. Thanks again to Barry and Deborah for joining us here today. We'll look forward to having them back here again real soon. All right. Well, time to move on to my next guest. I don't really know if I have to give this guy an introduction anymore. We're kind of getting used to him around here. But Executive Director Dave Brown from United Way of Sarnia-Lambton is joining us here today. David, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks, David. How are you?
I'm doing great. You're always great.
Well, I try to be, And
Yeah, well-
I mean, anytime I'm a guest on the show, it's going to be good.
Oh, wow. Here we go. Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate it. It feels like it was longer than last time, but I know you've had a lot of busy things going on, especially in September. I think probably one of the last things I was talking to you about was Day of Caring, right? It was on September the 10th, I think, right? How did that go?
It went very well. We had 240 volunteers from the community pan out amongst, I think, 50 work sites throughout Lambton. 72% of them were at the homes of seniors, helping prepare their homes for winter, cleaning gutters, you name it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that stuff that I think a lot of us, especially homeowners, that we're used to doing and able to do ourselves.
Right.
If we weren't able to do that, that could really make things difficult. And you had a lot of volunteers from company, like people taking the day off work to come and help with this.
Absolutely. I mean, many of them were from ministry, but there were a lot of volunteers from outside of ministry, from government. We've had some people from some of the financial institutions.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just exclusively industry. So it's great to see such a cross section of community volunteers come out, and it's an emotional day for a lot of these seniors, these homeowners. They're widows or widowers living in their own homes, and they can't afford to get the work done. It's unsafe for them to get on a ladder and clean the gutters and whatnot themselves. So they're thrilled to have the people out, and they tell us if it wasn't for the Day of Caring, they certainly could not live in their own homes. So we're pleased to do that. And I know the volunteers who come out love to see the people where their contributions are going.
Yeah. And you're saying it's an emotional day, not just for the homeowners. Like, I'm sure you'd probably go, oh, no, my husband used to fix that, or my wife used to do the gardening, that sort of thing. But an emotional day for the volunteers, I would think.
Absolutely. In fact, they become friends with a lot of the homeowners. And sometimes when they're there, they recognize there's other jobs that need to be done, or maybe the job that they're working on doesn't get done. So they come back on a Saturday or on a weekend and finish up, and they enjoy the visit.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say the social aspect of it all, too, is probably a big part of the day. Absolutely, it is. What about, let's remind everybody just how many agencies locally that United Way supports?
Well, beginning April 1st for the next 3 years, we've got 18 funded agencies that provide 36 different programs and services. And of course, 39% of our funding goes to youth programs that are proven effective to keep kids in school, doing better school, and not in conflict with the law. 31% goes to our family programming. About half goes to programs that reduce fears of homelessness for the family. And about the other half goes to mental health programming and suicide prevention. And then the final 30% goes to seniors programs. And again, these are programs that are proven effective to keep seniors safe, healthy, and independent in their own homes for as long as possible.
Yeah. I like how you divide that up, Dave, because I think there's maybe a bit of a perception, correct me if I'm wrong, that United Way typically would support mostly senior programs.
Right.
It's nice to hear that there is the mental health aspect and the youth and family aspect, right?
We have been increasing our funding to seniors because there's more and more of them, and they're living longer and longer. And homelessness is an issue for seniors, or at least affordable housing is. So we believe that the best way to address that issue is to keep them in their own homes that they already own. And we understand that a lot of seniors inherited the house from a spouse,
right?
And they may have very limited income, and so they're house poor. And that's why a number of our programs do a means test, which is a fancy way of saying a needs test, really, to identify which people need the programs and services the most.
Yeah. Tough decisions are made sometimes. I mean, there's not enough money to go around all the time, but Dave Brown alone does not make these decisions.
No.
There's a board of directors that puts a lot of work, and it's quite a long process for somebody to receive the funding from United Way. But when they follow through with it, it's obviously good for them in the end.
Absolutely. In fact, if you're one of those 18 agencies, the process is almost a year. As you know, we fund our agencies on a 3-year funding cycle, and the whole year or the whole cycle really begins the beginning of that 3rd year for the beginning of the next 3 years. And it's a 3-step volunteer process, with the final being our board of directors. And our board of directors feel that people support the United Way and give of their time and give their money because they want to help the people who are in need and are local. And our board of directors take that responsibility to heart. And they feel that those 4,000 or so donors are owed their best decisions. And we owe it to them to make sure that those most in need do get those services.
Yeah. And I like the fact that the people on the board are local.
Absolutely. And that, I mean, people think of United Way, okay, the money raised in the community is used in the community, but it's more than that. To your point, it's local decision making. We've got 15 volunteers representing a cross section of our demographics in our community, and they make the decisions locally that best meets the needs of our community. And communities all across Canada are different. We've got an older population than the provincial and Canadian average. Other communities may have more new Canadians. There's a number of issues that are specific to communities. And so that's why we're doing more mental health counseling, and we're increasing our funding for seniors programming because that's the best use of donated dollars in this community.
Yeah. And you talk about needs. There's a new campaign. There's a new campaign in town, and it's being called the Needs Target, right? $1.9 million. It's what's needed.
Correct.
To make all of these things happen.
We've, of course, every year since 1957, always had a goal. Yeah. And the goal is what we're going to shoot for to raise that particular year. And the last number of years, our goal was really what we raised the previous year. But last year, after missing our goal for the first time in 25 years, we know it's an election year. We know there's a number of issues that are going on locally as well as provincially and nationally. Our board wanted to point the focus on what's our need. What is it that we really need for those 18 agencies, 36 programs and services? And the number we came up with, 1.9 million. It's less than what we raised last year. We believe it's challenging, but it is achievable. And if we can raise more than that and raise more and reach last year's total, great. We've got our venture grant program. We've got a sponsorship program. We can continue to fund some non-funded agencies through those programs. But we really wanted to focus on what do we need for those 36 programs and services that so many people depend on.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important for people to understand that, you talk about governments and money, but the United Way doesn't get any money from the government, right? That's
correct.
You raise what you get, you raise. And if you need 1.9 million, you get that all on your own from the community.
And we're very fortunate to live in a very generous community. And you know as well as I do what a great community Sarnia-Lambton is. And you're right. I mean, the contributions come from corporate donations, from businesses and manufacturing, their employees, as well as their retirees through the mail, at-home businesses, and events. Such as our locally Lambton dinner that's coming up on the 19th of October, but also bingos and 50-50 raffles and anything we can. But you're right, 100% non-government funded.
And this is all coming from your wonderful team of, how many of you? You got 5 of you?
There's 5 altogether, including myself, but countless volunteers throughout industry, throughout the community. Again, whether you're talking amongst the federal government or municipal government, both of our school boards run great campaigns. Lambton College, the list is endless. It really is a united community project.
Yeah. And I know recently talking about the Sarnia Sting, of course, you guys had the black and white game that the Sarnia Sting have been, I guess, very loyally supportive to the United Way. Absolutely.
The Sarnia Sting Hockey Club, and in particular to their fans, have been very supportive of the United Way, not only during the annual black and white game, which we raised $4,000 this year, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But they do other things for us. If we need players for different events, or if they've got extra tickets for this or that, they let us know, and we look after trying to either use them for raffles ourselves, or door prizes, or whatever. So we're grateful to the Sarnia Sting and their fans. Absolutely.
One of the things I noticed in talking to you over many months now, the word accountability and transparency comes up, brought up, honestly, by yourselves, the United Way. That's really important to the organization.
We're very proud of that. And again, the board members and other volunteers at that level talk very proudly of our transparency and accountability. And, we try to talk to as many donors as we can, board members as well. And if they have any issues or comments or concerns, we try to follow up on them. And people may or may not agree 100% with some of the decisions, but at least they understand the process and they feel that they were important enough to follow up on. And you're right, we're very accountable, and we're very proud of that. We work hard for that.
Yeah. And open door, right? Like people can reach out to you you're very active on Facebook and Twitter, right?
Yes, absolutely. As well as LinkedIn. I'm not so much on Instagram, but we do have an Instagram account. We monitor that regularly as well. I have a number of people who pop in. They want to make their donation in person and say hello and ask us some questions. We welcome all of that. And to your earlier point, that's one of the advantages of supporting a local organization where you can stop by and see where your money is going and talk to the people who are investing it into community services.
Yeah. Well, relationships, right? Relationships are a big point of, we all have our favorite charities we like to give to and nonprofits, and it's usually because there's a string attached to the heart there somewhere. But this is kind of a nice way. The United Way, it can give, and it kind of spreads it out everywhere. You can still give to your local charities that you would normally,
yes.
But United Way kind of spreads it out for everybody. And you can do this from your employer's payroll. Is that right?
In fact, that's the most convenient way to support the United Way is through payroll deduction. Not everybody has $50 or $100 on them or a check. But if they give so much per pay for the United Way, it goes a long, long way. And so that was one of our slogans from years ago,
right?
And it's still effective today. We're seeing more and more people are starting to donate stocks and other appreciated equities. There's some great tax advantages to donors to donate stock, particularly people who are retired and maybe have invested in their own company stock over the years.
Okay.
We're seeing an increase of that, an increase in credit card contributions for people to get their points. So there's a number of ways to support us, but by far and away, the number one is payroll deduction.
Fantastic. Well, just before we go, Dave, always a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for the update and giving us your time here. What's the next event? I heard you mention it briefly earlier.
We've got the local Lambton dinner coming up on Saturday, October the 19th. The reception starts at 5:30, dinner at 6. It's at the Lambton College Event Center at just on London Road here.
Okay.
Tickets are $45 each, or 2 for $85. And it's a great meal. If you or any of your viewers have ever gone before, you know that this is a meal not to be missed. You can get your tickets by calling 336-5452, and anybody who picks up the phone will be happy to help.
Perfect. Dave, make sure you send me that information through Messenger, and I'll make sure we get that posted after the show and leading up to the event. One more chance to say anything that I might not have gotten to before I let you go.
Our actual website, if people want to learn more about the United Way, is www.theunitedway.on.ca. All of our agencies are there. A lot of our key performance indicators of the quality services that they're providing are on there, and you can even donate online.
Perfect. Dave Brown, thanks so much for joining me, buddy, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next month.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, Dave Brown, Executive Director for the United Way here in Sarnia-Lambton. We always appreciate him coming by to talk with us. All right. Well, if you love history, you're really going to love my next guest. There's a lot of history here in Sarnia, and this is going to be a very exciting time for many. And we've got, two special guests. I thought I only had one special guest, but I didn't know that we were bringing the other guy in here, too.
I brought my assistant.
Yeah, there you go. Kathy Alexander. What's that?
He's the historian, the true expert.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Let's welcome Kathy Alexander and Ron Reelsmith to the show. Thanks both for joining me. Kathy, it's been a long time since I've seen you. It's
I know.
You're just so busy doing stuff.
It's all picking up again. Don't worry. You're going to see lots of me the next few months. I guarantee it.
Wonderful. I'm never bored to see you.
I appreciate that.
Part of the Bluewater Health Foundation here in a very special event. Why would we have Bluewater Health Foundation Executive Director here with the historian himself, Ron Reelsmith? What are we talking about?
Well, I guess from our perspective, we're talking about the incredible history and longevity of healthcare in the Sarnia-Lambton community, and celebrating the incredible history that really is the makeup of 3 different hospitals at one point in time that are now come together to be Bluewater Health. But I think a lot of people in the community know we used to have a site, the former Sarnia General, that was taken down last year by the G5 group. And when they were doing the demolition, they uncovered some incredible findings, and generously took care of those findings and donated them to Bluewater Health. And Ron comes in because when time capsules are found in Sarnia-Lambton, the Sarnia Historical Society is connected with immediately, because they truly do such an amazing job of celebrating all the history of Sarnia-Lambton. So we're thrilled that Ron's a part of this project.
Yeah. Well, I think the last time capsule project, Ron, was skits, right? That we were talking about
Yeah,
before.
it was skits. And that was a lot of fun too.
That was.
We were the one coin that was found there. It was a valuable coin, but the year prior, if Skits had only opened a year earlier, that coin probably would have been worth about $100,000. So
is that right?
Yeah. So it's it's hard to believe, or it's hard to think of Sarnia without a hospital. But as far as history goes, like we've only had a hospital just over 100 years, and the first time capsule here from 1895. Really demonstrates, the first time that an organizational effort was put together by the city to have a hospital here. And the original hospital, it was an ambitious goal of 60 beds at the time.
Wow.
And a lot of fundraising that had to go into it. And unfortunately, they didn't meet their fundraising goals. We should have had your previous guest on there from the United Way. We probably would have met those goals. And unfortunately, they had to settle for, I believe it was a 40-bed operation, but it did open in 1895 and was celebrated. And it was interesting when we started looking into this and we started promoting this. I received an email from the stonemasons.
Okay.
And they were all about this, and they sent me a lot of information, historical information about it, and they're going to be there, and there's going to be a whole crew of the stonemasons, and they're going to be dressed up in their uniform, and we're going to talk about the historical aspect of the stonemasons in the community at the time, and the back then, they were, even now, they were very prominent in our community. And like everybody that was the who's was a part of it. And you'll see on Friday all the big names that came to be that made this happen. It was really a community effort that brought this hospital into being.
Well, I think it's interesting that you mentioned all of that, because I think when we talk time capsules and hospital, I guess is what we'd really say. It's like, well, what's going to come out of all that, and how did this really affect a community? But because I think, and Kathy, you'll probably agree with me, that the health world is often taken advantage of or for granted, because it's one of those things that until we need it, like we drive by it every day. That's and right. we don't think about it until we're in that position to need it, right?
I just want to make a quick editor's note there that it wasn't the stonemasons, it was the Freemasons. So I just want to
okay. I thought you were talking about the Rolling Stones. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, it's the Freemasons.
And they'll be here on Friday.
Yes.
But Dave, I think your point is exactly right. We are so fortunate to live in a community, in a province, in a country where healthcare, in essence, is free. So when you drive by, you don't think about paying for healthcare. When you have your baby, you don't think about having to pay for healthcare. And we have neighbors across the river from us that regularly have to pay for healthcare. But it really takes a community of generosity to build and enhance and grow healthcare. And all of the examples that Ron talked about really relied on community support and philanthropy. Expectations even back 100 years ago were that the community needed to have some type of a share or an investment or in building hospitals and healthcare. And that hasn't changed much. And that's where the foundation's role is really integral when it comes to Bluewater Health and being such a state-of-the-art hospital. So I think we're going to really celebrate and find some great treats inside of these time capsules. So I'm excited to see what's inside of those. And I think it'll be really fun. We've been working with a lot of donors and historians in this community. And I think what's really important, you think about our sister foundation in Petrolia, the CEH Foundation, that entire hospital was given as a gift. So that started with, the Jacob Engelhardt donating his home in honor of his wife, and the history in that facility. I imagine there's a time capsule somewhere out there as well. And hopefully, maybe we'll tap some oil and maybe we'll find some other great stuff at the Petrolia site one day. But it's really exciting to see, remembering the Sarnia General site, because when you drive by, I think it's great for people in the community to drive by and see a flattened, non-construction site anymore, because I know that was a concern for a lot of people for several years. And we're so grateful to the G5 and the City of Sarnia and Bluewater Health officials for working together to make sure that site was taken down safely. And we want to make sure that historic buildings are, if they're not taken care of, we don't want them to be unsafe for people in the community. So when you drive by now, you don't really get to see or remember the Sarnia General and what it was for so many people that were born there, or celebrated the birth of their children there, or celebrated the end of life there. And Sarnia General was a really important mosaic in the healthcare fabric of Sarnia-Lambton, and this will be an opportunity for us to reflect and remember and make sure that that Sarnia General is remembered and not forgotten.
Yeah, it's important.
Well, if you think about the hospital before it was there, before 1895, the way that you received healthcare back then was a doctor-made house visits. And if it was something truly critical, you had to get to London. And so that was before the 402 existed. And it was before your Prius got however many kilometers per hour. Yeah, it was horse and buggy. And so if you got hurt in Sarnia, chances probably were a lot higher that you were going to die. And so, the community certainly saw the need for it, and that's how it came to be. And I'm hoping that when we open this time capsule, dream time capsule, yes, when we open the 1895 one, I really hope that it really kind of paints a picture. Somebody has written a story about the imperative need for this hospital to be built.
Yeah, I've lived here all my life, right? All 50 years of my life. And it's really weird.
Over 45, by the way.
That's what I was just going to say.
What's that?
You don't look a day over 45.
I love you both so much. You can come back on the show anytime. But seriously, I've lived here all my life, and it's really weird to drive by where the Sarnia General used to be. It's not there anymore, and I don't cry, but you know what I mean. There's a bit of emptiness there, because and I know we've moved on to bigger and greater things, but like I remember that hospital, and it was an important part of this community. Just growing up and knowing that was there, and the facilities were available, and healthcare has certainly changed over 50 years. There's no question about it. But I think that's probably why this time capsule opening is really important too, is to not just to see out of interest what we're going to find there, but to show the importance of healthcare in any community. And the fact that Bluewater Health Foundation is putting this all together and inviting the public, I think is really important.
Yeah, I would say we're just one small piece of the puzzle. Bluewater Health has been, their communications department, and Ron, that's the Sarnia Historical Society, and the G5 group really have come together to host this event. And like I said, we've been working with donors and historians in the community, and we're always just so grateful to the people that give to Bluewater Health time and time again, because they believe in strengthening healthcare for people that get to call Sarnia-Lambton home. And if there are any historians or donors out there that want to learn more about the project and the work that's been done, we will be unveiling a very special tribute to the Cornerstones on the 27th as well. So we are very hopeful that we'll have a great crowd. The weather looks promising, which is nice as well. And we know that we love showcasing the beautiful inside of Bluewater Health, and our atrium is a gorgeous center of gathering for people to come together to see. Ron is actually the one. He has the pressure. He's opening the capsule. So if there's anything broken, it's Ron's fault.
Boy, there's a no pressure situation.
Well, you think that one-time capsule has been sitting there for 121 years. And when we got it out of the Cornerstone, it was in really good shape. So I'm really looking forward to see what's inside there. Hopefully there's some treasure, and it'll pay for all the taxes in the community, and all the bills, and everybody gets.
As long as we don't have a Geraldo, right? We don't need any Al Capone vaults happening.
No,
we want to see stuff. And I think it's interesting to point out too, like, and I kind of get this going back to the skits opening, time capsule opening. Technology was a lot different way back then. You know, we didn't have Ziploc bags to seal things in, and there was different things we didn't preserve things, I guess, the same way as what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Ron, did you have some predictions on what you think might come out of this and how it's preserved or how well?
Well, as far as the predictions go, I've actually done some digging, and
Okay.
I've got a fairly good idea about what is in there. However, the Bluewater Health Foundation is having a contest right now where you can guess, and you're going to be entered in your draw. Why don't you explain that a little bit instead of me giving it away?
Yeah, so there is Bluewater Health is hosting a contest for everyone in the community to come together. You can go onto the Bluewater Health Facebook page. We should actually put a link on the foundation page as well. When you come into our front doors, there's also a box so patients and families and visitors can drop off their guests in a ballot box at the front, and there will be winners announced on the 30th. So after the unveiling, we'll be able to determine what people's guesses, how accurate they were. I don't know. I'm hoping there'll be like some really neat old magazine with, I don't know what would be in a magazine in the 1920s, but something really cool and trendy and like, a fun.
I'm hoping for like a rookie baseball card.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
Magazines. They really just love like trashy celebrity style magazines. So 1926 might be really neat to see. But I just think the guests and all of the folks that are coming together to celebrate the history of healthcare and specifically the Sarnia General site and see what was installed in those cornerstones so many years ago. I don't know if people know, originally the event was planned to showcase the findings of 2 time capsules, and when the people were on site making and the bench that will be unveiled on the 27th, they were cutting into one of the cornerstones, and while they were doing that, it was like, oh my gosh, there's something inside of here. And as they were opening it up, a 3rd time capsule was unveiled. So hospital officials were quickly brought down to the garden. Ron was quickly called, and there are now 3 time capsules that will be unveiled. So it's pretty neat that, in the process of creating something to remember the significance of the cornerstones, a 3rd time capsule was found.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting, and I hope the public embraces this, comes out, and I'm sure there'll be many that come out and enjoy. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here as well. And I'm sure it'll be great news to be talked about after that day. And this is all happening this Friday. Starts 11 o'clock. The opening will take place, right?
That's correct.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And just for a quick little history tidbit there, the chairman of the hospital at the time was a Miss Margaret Mackenzie, who was obviously a descendant of our favorite politician, not Mike Bradley. Alexander Mackenzie. So, it's really interesting. All the names I've been reading through, and so there's so many connections with prominent Sarnia names that all of their family members all came together to make this this happen. It really, when it opened in 1895, it was really a who's who of the community to make this work.
And I would argue that it continues to be the who's who that come together to make Sarnia-Lambton a better community and a better hospital for so many people. We have so many great volunteers and donors and board members, Hospital Foundation Hospital, that just give of themselves every single day. My favorite is, volunteers. There are volunteers from Sarnia General that are now volunteers here at Bluewater Health that used to, or there's former staff people at both sites, or all 3 sites rather, that retire, and virtually the very next day, they're like, finally, I get to do something I want to give back. And they choose to volunteer at the place where they were employed for 35 years. So, the hospital truly is the heart of our community. And I think that we have so much to celebrate, and we have so much to remember. And we don't want to forget the history of how far we've come since 67.
Yeah.
18.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I told you I brought him for a reason.
That's right. Well, I couldn't agree with you more, and the 2 of you included in all of that, because you both work very hard at in your roles to keep things going and making things like this happen and being a part of it. So thank you both for your efforts, and thanks both for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And once again, thank you, Dave, for doing your part and telling the story of Sarnia, as we talked about last time I was on.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Have a great
Perfect.
day.
I'll see you there on Friday,
See you
and
Friday.
we appreciate your time.
All right. Take care.
Bye
Thank
for
you.
now. You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Kathy Alexander from Bluewater Health Foundation and Ron Reelsmith from the Sarnia Historical Society, being a part of and contributing to making this time capsule, not one, not two. I didn't even know this, but now 3 time capsules going to be revealed on Friday. So looking forward to that. You can come on down there and enjoy it and be a part of history, right? And show your support for the Bluewater Health Foundation and everybody who's making this happen out there. Thanks again, Kathy and Ron. And thanks to all of my guests who joined me here today. I want to say a special thank you to Barry Loxton and Debora Matchett. I don't know why I could want to say Matchett. Debora Matchett for watching along. Check them out online. And of course, Dave Brown from United Way Sarnia-Lambton. And don't forget, on Sunday, I will be racing lawn tractors. That's right. I don't know how I get talked into this stuff, but lawn tractor racing is an actual thing. And we thanks to all of you for being here and joining me today to enjoy listening to my guests. Don't forget, motorcycles are still on the road, and I'm one of them. So watch for motorcycles. Drive aware and ride aware. Be safe out there. And of course, the kids are back in school. A reminder to watch out for the kids who do not always look both ways before they cross the street. I want to say special thank you as well to our title sponsors, AG Event Graphics, askguy.ca. Visit them online. And they've always got some really cool stuff on sale as well. So check them out. Again, askguy.ca, AG Event Graphics, and Joe's Discount Tire. If you're needing tires, there's only one place to go here in Sarnia, and that's Joe's Discount Tire. And if you can't watch me or you don't want to look at me, whatever, this podcast will be available wherever podcasts are available online at Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, CastBox, Pocket Cast, and Spotify. We're really grateful to all of our partners who help make the show work, and of course, really grateful for all of you. And there's where it comes. That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.